What's up, Eagles fans? Welcome into the All-22 review driven by AAA. An unbelievable Eagles win as they go into Lambeau Field and topple the undefeated Green Bay Packers. Huge plays in all three sides of the ball, and we're going to start off on special teams. Let's get going here with this breakdown. So the Packers jumped up to an early lead, 10-0. Eagles are getting the ball midway through the first quarter, and they get a big spark here from a big kickoff return from the rookie Miles Sanders. And it all started with a big block out ahead from the veteran safety, Andrew Sendejo. You're going to see right here. Now, the new change in kickoff rules this past offseason resulted in some shifting around of personnel for all teams in the NFL. Really, one of the big rules is that all of your players, outside of a couple, have to be up near the line of scrimmage, up near where the ball is being kicked. So you couldn't spread all these guys out over the width of the field, over the length of the field. So one of the things that the Eagles have been doing is that they're going to take one of these guys that are up on the front line, and in this case it's Andrew Sendejo. Instead of just coming back and then trying to block straight ahead, he's actually going to take a head of steam, and he's going to be a lead blocker. So he's going to come, view the catch, and then come ahead and be a lead blocker. So this was actually really well set up by Dave Phipp and this special teams coaching staff. They're going to do a good job of setting this up for Sanders. We'll let this run and watch number 42, Andrew Sendejo. He's again coming from the opposite side. He turns into a lead blocker. He's going to run it as if he's the returner, picks up that free man. Sanders does a great job playing off that block. You see the juice in the open field, and he takes this into Green Bay territory. Huge play there to get the Eagles into close scoring distance and set up a touchdown. So before the Eagles punch this in, they get a little bit closer to the goal line with a tight end screen to Dallas Goddard, who's active and a big participant here in this game plan. The Eagles come out in their 12 personnel set. That means one running back and two tight ends, all right? So 12 personnel here on the field for the Eagles offense. And what they're going to do is they're going to use the running back out of the backfield as eye candy for the defense. They're going to send him in quick bubble motion over to the left, trying to get the attention of those second and third level defenders, thinking that this is going to be a quick bubble screen out to the left side. What they're going to do, though, is hit Dallas Goddard on a screen. The other thing that they're going to do is just try and take away some of these guys who would potentially come down and defend this screen, is they're going to send Zach Ertz on an over route, a crossing route. Just get as many defenders away as possible. With those two routes, you're trying to get these four guys and get them away from the football. So we're going to let this play run. You're going to see a couple offensive linemen get out in front. Jason Kelce, Lane Johnson do a good job. Dallas Goddard, he's selling pass protection, right? So Preston Smith, he thinks, all right, I got to go chase. I got to go find something here. Look at all the eyes of these defenders. Zach Ertz is getting ready to run away. That's going to take this safety with them. Now you've got a couple offensive linemen. You've got Lane Johnson. You've got Jason Kelce. They're all selling pass protection first, wait about 2 or 3 seconds, then release out into the backfield. And now we're going to see what those guys are able to do. We're going to let this run. Carson Wentz turns back to his right, gets rid of this ball, gets it out into Dallas Goddard. You see he's got a convoy out in front. It's a first down inside the 5-yard line for Dallas Goddard. Helps the Eagles set up a touchdown. We'll get to that play next. And how do the Eagles get into the end zone? Well, they're going to go back to that reliable combination, Carson Wentz to Alshon Jeffrey in the red zone. You're going to see here, the Eagles are in a bunch set, and the Packers are playing 3 over 3. And the way that you're typically going to see this from a man coverage standpoint is that this defender who's in press coverage, he's going to get manned up on whoever the point man is in the bunch. So that's one man-to-man scenario. Then whoever goes outside will be the responsibility of this corner. Whatever receiver comes inside will be the responsibility of that corner. So no matter how the Eagles try to deploy these routes, whoever runs inside is going to be the responsibility of the safety. Whoever runs outside will be the responsibility of that corner. Now, what the Eagles are going to do here is they're going to send Alshon Jeffrey on a slant route, an in-breaking route right here into the back of the end zone. And I want you to watch the play strength, and we'll let this run here as you're going to see Matt Collins gets off the jam, does a nice job making sure he defeats press coverage, and then Alshon using his play strength, nice little swim move to get past the safety and get into the end zone for a touchdown. Carson puts it right on the money. The Eagles come away with a touchdown, pull within 3 points. Well, the Eagles take the lead with a Dallas Goddard touchdown down in the red zone. Nice drive here by this Eagles offense. Couple of critical third down conversions, but let's see how they punch it in. And on the kickoff show presented by Exalta with Amy Campbell before the game, I talked about how this Eagles offense needed to take advantage of any opportunities they got against this stout Green Bay defense. There were going to be opportunities, pass game, run game. When the play is there to be made, you've got to come through and finish and make the play. Here is a good example. They're down in the red zone. They're inside the 5-yard line. Green Bay is a little messed up with how they're trying to get lined up. You see a bunch of guys lined up over on that side of the formation. Beforehand, this safety right here, he's yelling over to these guys, hey, I need some extra help over here. Dallas Goddard was raising his hand saying, Carson, hey, check this out, look this way. So right before the snap, they try to get lined up. We're going to let this play out now. This isn't anything special. Carson Wentz's going to drop back. After a play fake, he doesn't look in the middle of the field. He's not looking anybody off. Dallas Goddard just runs a really nice slant route, wins against the safety, gets inside for a touchdown. Carson puts it on him for 6 points. The Eagles take the lead before halftime. So up 14-13 at the 2-minute warning, the Eagles come away with a turnover, a sack fumble by Derek Barnett. Let's break down exactly how it happened. Now, Green Bay is a big play-action offense. Matt LaFleur comes from that Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan school of the stretch run game, but then play action off of it. So this is actually going to be a run fake to the right. Aaron Rodgers is going to fake the handoff and roll back to his left. What they're also going to do is they're going to bring a receiver in an orbit motion over here. Now, by doing that, they're going to leave Derek Barnett unblocked at the snap. They're going to bank on this tight end coming across to block him, and if not, at least that orbit motion can at least just try and keep Derek Barnett on that backside as if he's going to have to defend some kind of reverse or end around. So we're going to let this go and see exactly what Derek Barnett does here, because this is a really well done play by the third-year pro. This is the tight end that's supposed to block Derek Barnett. Barnett reads this play immediately and just destroys this block. He's going to slip it, get deeper than the quarterback, but then do a really good job of turning a tight angle and then attacking the throwing arm. Such a great finish here. We'll let this run. Great finish by Derek Barnett of turning the corner. You see the flexibility, using that outside arm to tomahawk the throwing arm of Aaron Rodgers, get the ball on the ground. Brandon Graham comes up with the fumble recovery. Huge play for this Eagles defense. So the Eagles have the ball deep in Green Bay territory off the Derek Barnett sack fumble, and now they're going to punch this ball in with the run game and Jordan Howard. Now, this is going to be an inside zone run, and this is a heavy box by Green Bay. 7 down near the line of scrimmage against 6 Eagles blockers. You got the 5 offensive linemen and the tight end here on the line of scrimmage. Now, that's numbers favoring Green Bay. So how do you counteract that? How do you beat that extra man in the box? We're going to let this go for a second, and I'll give you exactly what you're going to see here up front. First of all, outstanding double team from Jason Kelce and Isaac Seumalo. They are going to do what's called smashing the stacks. That stack of the defensive tackle and the linebacker, those two guys do a great job of working up to the second level, moving that defensive tackle right into the linebacker's lap. Jason Peters is going to win one-on-one. You've got another great double team here on the backside with Brandon Brooks and with Lane Johnson. So all the holes are available here for Jordan Howard. But you've got that extra defender. Why isn't he trying to attack here? Why isn't he trying to scrape over the top and try and see if he can make a play on Jordan Howard? Well, all game long, the Eagles had been kind of gashing Green Bay with the RPO game, with these slants on the backside of these run plays where the defender would get a little bit nosy and then you throw it right past his ear hole for a nice chunk of yardage. Well, this defender here is going to slow play it just a little bit because the threat of the RPO behind him is in the back of his mind. So he's a little bit slower getting over there to defend the run. Jordan Howard takes this handoff, and we'll let this run, and he's able to run through this hole again. Great play side double team up front by Jason Kelce and Seumalo. Howard gets them inside the 5-yard line and helps set up a touchdown for himself. So let's see how Jordan Howard punches this in to the end zone. Remember last week he had a 1-yard touchdown with Alex Ellis, the third tight end, in the backfield as a fullback. He was actually lined up just ahead of Howard as a lead blocker. Well, Alex Ellis is actually going to help Jordan Howard get into the end zone again, and this time, slightly different scenario, different formation here. Here's Alex Ellis here up in the slot, and he's going to do a great job of what's called a split zone run. It's inside zone to the left for Jordan Howard. All the offensive line is working this direction, which would, in theory, leave some guys here left unblocked on the backside. That's going to be the responsibility of Alex Ellis. And just before the snap, we'll let this roll. You're going to see that they bring Alex Ellis in motion, and just before the ball gets handed off to Howard, you could see he's going to come like a heat-seeking missile. Whoever that most dangerous man is coming from this side, whether it's that's an edge rusher, whether it's a linebacker coming from the second level, whoever that is, Ellis is in charge of blocking him. And we're going to see here as Howard gets handed the football, Alex Ellis delivers a huge block on the linebacker, helps create that seal, and Jordan Howard walks in scot-free for a touchdown, give the Eagles a healthy lead going into the locker room. All right, so the Eagles are up by 1 midway through the third quarter, and they get into the end zone with the hands of Jordan Howard with a pass out of the backfield in one of their staple offensive plays. This is the mesh concept. And if you're a longtime follower, a longtime reader, longtime listener to the Eagle Eye in the Sky podcast fueled by Gatorade, you know what the mesh concept is. All you've got is 3 in-breaking routes from the Eagles offense. Here's Zach Ertz on one crosser. You're going to have Nelson Aguilar on a second crosser, and then Matt Collins with a third route. And all this is trying to do is just create a whole bunch of traffic in the middle of the field so that these defenders in man coverage can get caught up. The first thing that Carson's going to do before working those 3 crossing routes over the middle is you're going to have that wheel route out of the backfield. Remember, Corey Clement running down the right sideline in Super Bowl 52 against the Patriots. That came on this play, and it's because when the quarterback drops back, if the defender, in this case it's Blake Martinez, gets out-leveraged in any way to defend this wheel route, if he tries to attack close to the line of scrimmage and then gets caught up in this garbage, now you've got the throw over the top on the wheel route. And that's exactly what happens here. We're going to let this run, and you're going to see that the route from Matt Collins, the route from Zach Ertz, too much traffic there for him to be able to work through. Blake Martinez gets caught, and Jordan Howard's off to the races, gets inside of the end zone for a touchdown, gives the Eagles a 7-point lead after the failed 2-point conversion midway through the third quarter. Well, the Eagles are tied now 27-27. They get the ball, and on the first play of the drive, they get one of their biggest runs of the season, a huge run by Miles Sanders here in the backfield. And this is what you would call a wham play. And what is a wham play? Well, a wham is anytime you have a fullback or a tight end who is asked to block an interior defensive lineman. So a tight end blocking a defensive tackle. You wouldn't think that that's a fair matchup, but when you have angles and deception on your side, now you can make that work. Now, what the Eagles are going to do is they bring Dallas Goddard in motion. He was lined up initially out wide to the left. They bring him in short motion. He settles in right next to the line of scrimmage here just before the snap. So these defensive linemen, they're not thinking, oh, Dallas Goddard, he's going to be a factor here in this run play. But they're going to bring him in, and I want you to watch this corner, Tremont Williams, number 38. He's in man coverage on Dallas Goddard. Just store that away and keep it in the back of your mind. The player that Goddard is going to block is number 94, Dean Lowry. This defensive tackle lined up across from Isaac Seumalo. Now, if Dean Lowry is going to be blocked by Goddard, okay, we're going to take him out of the picture, who are Jason Peters and Isaac Seumalo going to block? Well, now this is the beauty of a wham play, is now you're getting even more favorable matchups because now you can get your offensive lineman clean up to the second level. Isaac Seumalo is going to get up on the linebacker, Blake Martinez. Jason Peters is going to get up on the safety, and then you've got Zach Ertz. He's just going to wash out the pass rusher, Preston Smith. So now, not only are you erasing a defensive lineman, but you're also getting big bodies up to the second level to get some mismatches up in space and create some room to work. So we're going to let this roll and see how this all comes to fruition here for this Eagles offense. This is about to be a car wreck inside right in front of Miles Sanders. Dallas Goddard completely wipes out Dean Lowry. Zach Ertz does a great job play side. Jason Peters is about to crunch this safety, number 31, and wipe him into oblivion. He buckles immediately on contact. Isaac Seumalo, he gets up to the second level, and you see Tremont Williams. Remember, I told you right at the beginning of the snap, Tremont Williams was in man coverage on the tight end, Dallas Goddard. So when Goddard came across the formation, Tremont Williams ran with him. So he's actually running himself out of the play. Look at this alley that Miles Sanders has to work with. It's why wham and trap, the trap is his distant cousin, are such great run plays because you take advantage of angles, you get the running back downhill, you get a huge alley here. We'll let this run, and you can see Miles Sanders running away. 96 tries to make a nice play from the backside, but Sanders is off to the races. Huge run play to get the Eagles going, get them into Green Bay territory here, and set up a touchdown. Jordan Howard finishes it off with a couple devastating runs between the tackles, and the Eagles take a 1-touchdown lead. So a lot happens after the Eagles finish that touchdown drive with a Jordan Howard run. The Packers get the ball. They go back down. The Eagles get the ball back. They give it back to Green Bay. Now the Packers come back down. They march down. Less than a minute left. They're on the goal line. 2nd and goal. The Eagles have no timeouts left inside the 5-yard line. Avonte Maddox goes out with a terrible injury, and Craig James comes on the field. Craig James, who's at the bottom of the screen here, he was on and off the active roster over the last couple of weeks. So you know Green Bay is going to go after him, and they're in man coverage here. So Green Bay is going to run a man beater. They're going to try and run a little rub route where they're basically going to take this slot receiver and run him out, try and create Malcolm Jenkins getting outside, try and create some interference here where James, who again is this corner, won't be able to run through it as they send the receiver across from him, 83, on just a quick little slip route right towards the middle of the field. Now, the great job that you see here from James of avoiding this contact. Malcolm Jenkins knows this play's coming too. He actually does a really good job of getting his head back around to try and make a play at the catch point. But James does an outstanding job understanding where this route is going to be going and getting underneath this contact. We'll let this play here, and you can see the job that James does. Watch as he avoids the contact. He expects it. You see the job he does of getting in between the receiver and Malcolm Jenkins, avoiding contact and then impacting the catch point. Does a great job playing through the body of the receiver, getting a hand on a football. The pass bounces up in the air. Nigel Bradham comes up with the interception after dropping a gimme earlier in the game, and the Eagles win 34-27 on the road against an undefeated Green Bay Packers team. An awesome team win. You had big plays on all 3 sides of the ball. The Eagles come back to Philadelphia with a huge win. We will be breaking it all down, not only here on the Eagle Eye in the Sky podcast, fueled by Gatorade, but the Eagle Eye in the Sky articles, Eagles game plan. Midweek next week as the Eagles prepare for the New York Jets, who come to Lincoln Financial Field next Sunday. So 10 days from now, huge win for the Eagles. They advance to 2-2.